Alright, we are back, and looking a little bit interesting here. Alright, cool. Well, assuming y'all are able to hear me once again, hello. For those that might have just missed me one run ago, I'm TempestMask1000, some of you know me as Steve, and I'm a Mega Man runner, let's put it simple as that. See, Mega Man was always a big part of my childhood, and, well, what can I say? It comes with all sorts of wacky sort of games, and this is easily one of those. Say hello to Mega Man for Game Gear, y'all. You might have seen me run this at a couple of recent events this year, like ESA and BSG, but for today, I'm more than happy to showcase a Sega Mega Man game here at SEGATHON. There's quite a few of them, actually. You'd be surprised as to how many, but yeah, among all the real bizarre ones, this is as bizarre as they get. You'll see what I mean soon enough. So, with that in mind, I'm gonna do this one solo today, but we'll see how it all goes. And with that, I hope we're ready to rock and roll, because time will begin once I select normal right here, and I'll be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so y'all may be familiar with Wily Wars, but let me tell you, when publisher US Gold wanted a Mega Man game on a Sega handheld and got this random developer called Freestyle to do it, the result is kind of surprising. It's not too terrible, but it certainly has a few weird aspects to it for sure. Nothing too game-breaking. This is pretty much as simple as can be Mega Man sort of run, per se. But what you're looking at right now is probably one of the most unique takes on the otherwise 8-bit art style of the classic franchise. I don't think there's ever any game that has tried something that essentially is the 8-bit sprites, just a bit more polished up here. But yeah, that was Squeaks right there. I took him out because he know what he's done to other runners, and it was well-deserved. But yeah, we're on Stone Man's stage, and as you saw on the stage select, we have 5 Robot Masters from Mega Man 5 and 1 from Mega Man 4. There's a total of 6 Robot Masters in this game altogether, so you will see 2 more, 1 from each of those 2 titles, 5 and 4. So if you're feeling there's a bit of a deficiency going on in terms of Mega Man 4 Robot Masters, well, you would be right. And even weirder is the fact that this weakness chain is kind of jank. It mostly will feature, say, some weaknesses from special weapons that do check out from the main games, and it's not like any of these weapons have changed drastically, save for maybe 1. But other than that, this is nothing like, say, how Capcom creatively altered things in the arcade games, you know, Power Battle, Power Fighters. What you see is pretty much what you get, except Stone Man here, who is a lot faster and a lot more threatening than he was in his NES fight. And because he is the starter stage, I have to hit him with the Buster. So his whole deal, for those that are unaware, is that he likes to jump around the ground. He likes to do what we sometimes call Happy Stone, and he'll eventually crumble before he reappears. I'm really missing my shots this time. That's not too fun. Let's try and get a charge shot here. 1 pellet should do. There we go. I'm positioning myself as close to the center as possible as we get our first weapon. And then you have it. That's stage 1. And for some reason, they did not give these names proper weapons. Instead, we have Stone Weapon. Don't ask. I have no clue. But now we're going into Starman, who's normally weak to Wave Man's Water Wave. In this case, that's not going to be a thing. I think did I just skip that little Robot Master screen a bit early? I think I did. I know I was pressing start there a couple of times, but yeah. So this game is a very big oddball and then some. For whatever reason, it only remained a North American exclusive release, and while it is still possible to find some cartridges, they are very scarce. Any attempts to see any price listings, you'll more than likely see that it's going to go for a ungodly amount, like say 500, which is the one I saw. I kind of guessed my platforming there. Yeah, so this is Starman stage, and yeah, like within the original game, it's 0 gravity or altered gravity, which means Mega Man's jump height is going to be a little bit more than usual. Here we have the little mech walkers. They are practically promoted into mini-boss status, per se, because in this game, for whatever reason, they made it so that I cannot proceed to the next room until I destroy the one in the room. It is pretty funny, because otherwise you're normally able to skip them. Now, there is a little something concerning about this game. Particularly what happens if you game over is that there is no retry screen. There is no, like, option to retry the stage that you were on from the beginning. Rather, the game kicks you straight up to the very title screen. And this actually, you know what, this could be a bit precarious. I might take a death here, we'll have to see. Ooh, that was actually pretty good, what the heck? Alright, and I got a nice little trick that is reminiscent to that of what you see in normal Mega Man 5. But yeah, so far looking pretty good. So that little trick right there is what happens when I push myself right into Starman's hitbox, which then causes the Power Stone to immediately make contact. And because both stones are making contact with Starman, he'll take a lot more damage this way. So the obvious idea here being that I just want to make use of that particularly. Anyway, welcome to Brightman. This stage has a lot of tight jumps because you're probably noticing that the camera here in this game is very, very tight. So it makes some of my platforming a lot more daunting than it ever should be. And, well, for what that's worth, as Sonic would say, that's no good. So I'm going to be a little considerate here because for those that might have seen my ESA run, you may recall I had a lot of trouble with this, and while I was eventually able to clear it, it was certainly one of the reasons why that run ended up going just a little overestimate. But I have basically figured out that in order to clear the final, the first jump that takes you to the little rotating platforms in the final hallway, it's more so that I don't necessarily want to rush it. Instead, I just want to take it one bit at a time. That's all. You'll see what I mean soon, though. For now, I do have to acknowledge that this game does have checkpoints. Despite mainly being based off of Mega Man 5, there is no sign of Eddie at all, which means, you know, the red robot that can... there we go. First death right there. But yeah, for those that don't know, Eddie is that robot in the later NES games, or rather later classic games, that can drop a item for Mega Man to pick up. And so it can be like a little RNG-wise, it can be something really helpful, like a energy tank or an extra life. It can be decently helpful, like a health drop or a weapon drop. It all depends on what exactly you need and whether or not the situation calls for it. So obviously just something you always want to think about for sure. Alright, let's see here. Okay, that's more like it. So yeah, if you so much as do that jump way too early, then you better believe you're gonna fall into that pit and it's no fun. But as if that wasn't bad enough. Oh, thank goodness. So the reason I usually try to avoid those lightning bug robots is that if you destroy them, they'll end up darkening the room, which makes it nigh impossible to see what platforming is ahead. But luckily those little walker robots eventually show up, and destroying those will light up the room, and that was a perfect Starman fight, or Brightman fight right there. Which is good because in a similar situation to Plant Barrier when used on Tomahawk Man in Mega Man 6, you only have as much weapon ammo as it takes to defeat him, which means miss once, and you have to eventually switch back to your Buster or something like that. So, something to be very considerate of. And it can happen. It can even, because the barrier can go down so much, if so much as a single shot from Brightman happens. Of course, the best thing about that being a very solid fight was that I did not get frozen in time. That can always be annoying. And speaking of that flash stopper weapon that Brightman normally has, or gives to Mega Man, this game does not necessarily need any flashing lights warnings, because instead of flashing lights, it actually does little screen fades, especially for the flash stopper, so it's actually a lot easier on the eyes. Now, of course, if any of the effects in this game still concern you just a bit, of course, viewer caution is understandable, and so much so that I fully understand if you wish to turn your gaze away from the game itself. After all, one of the things about it you're noticing is all this flickering. There's just not much that I can really do about that. I am running this on Sega Fusion, and that is the legal emulator for Game Gear games on the Mega Man RT8 leaderboards, so it's just a bit of a necessity here no matter what. Now, there is a good reason why I'm actually not really going into my weapons menu all that much, and that's because whenever I do, similar to how it wastes time in the normal classic Mega Man games, it's the same thing here, except with a much more egregious case of having to see all of your weapon ammo bars fill up, which is never fun. So, yeah, I'm looking really dangerously low on health, but thankfully you might have noticed that this game has it very interesting with the health ups in that they immediately refill your bar, so you do not have to worry about losing time for taking a health pickup at all, which is very convenient. It's something of more of a, it's usually like a more modern feature that you're going to find in Mega Man games like fan games or even Mega Man 11, but yeah. I'm going to take that intentional death here because, yeah, it was only a matter of time before, yeah, you know, I only had like 2 hits. There's no way I'm risking that because now it's time for an otherwise scripted fight right here. So, you know, I just want to have my weapon ammo, nothing more, nothing less. So here we go. Just gotta make sure he's also staying on the screen as well for... Ooh, that was unfortunate. So yeah, exactly what I meant right there. If he's too far off the screen, the hit will not count. But there we go, that was otherwise pretty clean as can be. And with that, we have officially cleared the 4 Robot Masters, and we'll be bringing ourselves on to what I call the second half of the game. So, there are 6 Robot Masters in total, just as I mentioned earlier. And, yeah, that very much holds up here, because now I gotta go all the way over to Dr. Cossack's castle for some reason. And, yeah, we're gonna fight Wave Man. You think I'm kidding? There he is. Yeah, I don't know why. It's so weird. But even weirder is his face. His color palette is practically the same, except they somehow made his face chrome, despite normally being, you know, skin tan colored in the original game. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Artistic liberty here, I guess. The collision detection on those little vacuum pipes are very finicky. I don't usually find myself able to get the health pickup there. But, yeah, no, as if that wasn't weird enough. For the eagle-eared folks, those who are very familiar with the Mega Man soundtrack of the classic days, you would probably recognize that this theme is actually not Wave Man's, but rather Gravity Man's. And yet Gravity Man does not show up at all. The reason for this is because apparently Wave Man's theme is used as the Game Over theme. I don't understand the logic for this one. There's a lot of things that Freestyle could have definitely done a little bit better with this game, I will say that much, because otherwise it's, again, fairly solid, just it's so quirky in so many ways, it's kind of unbelievable. And if you're ever so curious about the whole scrolling camera biz, because I also forgot to point out that, see, there's a full scrolling camera in this game. You don't usually see that in a typical Mega Man level. You're usually seeing either horizontal or vertical scrolling when I'm going from room to room, right? Well, yeah, this game decided, no, we can't necessarily fit everything without compromising sprite quality. only they ended up doing it anyway, because this boss is much smaller than his original Waveman appearance. And the hitbox is so dang tight that you were going to hear a lot of tinks from me no matter what, unless I managed to get that connected perfectly. So, not much I could have done otherwise. Oh, that sounded like a good item to collect, though. I'm curious about that one. I might just have to look in the pause menu. Maybe a little health refill would be nice. Nope, no sale. Let's take a look at what I got, though, once I defeat this randomly placed cannon at the end. Ah, an extra life. That's perfect. So, I have collected a few of those. Not necessarily needed, you know, but here's Waveman, and the reason that I'm not even switching to a weapon is because for some bizarre reason, he's got no weapon weakness. Despite the fact that I've collected, like, 4 weapons overall, Waveman is only susceptible to the Buster, and I figured I was going to die to that. No problem. Yeah, I see y'all are making reference, though, to GoldenEye. Very classic. Oh, boy. So, yeah, I'm just gonna land some shard shots here. Or try to, anyway. Of course, with this being based on Mega Man 5 as compared to the Mega Man 4 Buster, the charge shot will suddenly disappear, like the level of charge that you have going before you fire, if Mega Man takes a bit of damage. So, I gotta be absolutely mindful of that. Otherwise, Waveman is pretty simple. It's a usual rinse and repeat pattern of Water Wave, Harpoon Shot, Jump, in that order. Or I think it's Water Wave, Jump, and then Harpoon. Yeah, I think that was it, yeah. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so now here's the Wave Weapon. And we are almost done with the game, just a few more stages. For now, we got Toadman coming right up. And this is the other representative of Mega Man 4. Yeah, I don't know why. Apparently they just figured, okay, Toadman, why the heck not? And yeah, as you can imagine, that can be very, very much a killjoy, circumstances depending. For now, we've got this little start of the stage with rain that's trying to push me back. I'm going to let these birds pass by because they can totally, like, gank my jump, basically. Because, you know, they eventually home in on you and stuff, and I feel it would be a little awkward to take a knockback death at this point. Alright, so here, that was the rain section. I was going to mention that the rain is pushing me back so that my jump speed is definitely going to be a bit slower. And it's a shame, too, because if I jump backward, then it becomes faster. But, yeah, I'm just going to take care of this snail boss. And if you could please, thank you. Alright, so, way to ruin the surprise there, buddy, but don't you worry, because we got one more coming right up. Come on. Thank you. There we go. I have no clue what they were thinking when they programmed the health in this boss, but apparently a single shot is enough to take it down. That is supposed to be a mini-boss, and yet it's so much as a lemon will be enough to junk that thing entirely. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if this was an oversight. Frankly, I don't even think I want to. But here's Toadman. I want him to keep on jumping so that I can hit him with the Water Wave, because it is, unfortunately, a ground-type weapon. Otherwise, if I let him dance for long enough, then he's going to do the unavoidable rain attack. And yeah, there we go. That was not too bad. But still, he got a low contact damage on me, which, not much I can do there. Alright, final 2 levels. Now, this is going to be a bit of whiplash because we're about to see Wily's Castle, finally. But the level that I'm about to do is a little adage from Mega Man 2. And of course, it's Quick Man. By the way, Rush Coil, that's a weapon in this game, or that's a tool that you have in this game from the get-go. It works exactly like Mega Man 5, which is probably my least favorite Rush Coil. but it is what it is. Oh, I think I gotta jump there, that's right. A little bit of collision there. So the nice thing about this game is that because Mega Man has his slide ability, these lasers aren't going to be too bad, but oh, that was very unfortunate because the weird thing about these lasers is that they are programmed much differently than you would expect. So if I get hit by the little forward spark right there, that's perfectly fine because I'm going to be taking normal damage. But if so much as the laser itself hits me, I'm instantly dead. So I got to be extra careful of that. But yeah, other than that, this is the end of the stage. It's a lot more abbreviated than you would think. And all of a sudden, whoop, no boss. What the heck's up with that? Well, the game just wanted an excuse to take us to Wily himself. We got the chamber that leads you to the boss rush, but instead we got the capsule fight. And this will be the final fight of the run, so time will be on the final hit, which won't be anytime soon, but the reason for that is because we've basically got a Wily Casino right here, which, if you're familiar with that whole spiel from Mega Man 9, it's just as bad here, where Wily will choose an altitude, and whatever he decides to do, I have no control over. I can only hit him whatever works for me. I could use Rush Coil, but that would just waste even more time, and I think I just want to hit him with as many powerful shots as I can. The amount of time you have to hit him, too, is not a whole lot, let's just put it that way. Oh gosh, whoop, no. At least I can get him with some, lemons. Alright, we're nearing the end of this. Nice little quirk, by the way. While the game, oddly enough, only allows you 2 shots wait time. Let's go! That's a PB! Let's go! Heck yeah, 20 minutes, 50 seconds, .90. You'll love to see it. Very good stuff right there. Alright, I was about to say, though, you can only do 2 shots on the screen at a time for some reason, instead of the traditional 3, but apparently it is possible to have a shot that's still on the screen convert into a charge shot if you do the charging. It's a very fun little quirk, one of my personal favorites about this game. And yeah, so Wily is destroyed, we absorb his essence, and then Dr. Cossack's castle explodes, leaving the poor man homeless. This game is so bizarre. But will we see the last of Wily today? Could this very well be the last indeed? Now, if you think the fireworks look cool and all, let me assure you these are actually reused assets, just colored a little differently. Those come from the firework enemies from Brightman's level. I used to think these were the only original graphics that Freestyle themselves made, but whatever. I will say this much, though. For a Game Gear game to have been made under production of the 90s back then and whatnot, I will give props to Freestyle for having pulled this off. I don't believe they've ever made another game since then. You know, they, like most oddball developers may, like such as the story goes. But hey, this is a game, and if you want to try it for yourself, emulation is perfectly fine. There's no real way to experience this in a modern port. The 3DS Virtual Console did not even get this. But hey, this was Mega Man Game Gear, and I hope you all enjoyed. Now, once again, I'm not done yet. There's one more thing that I've got here for SEGATHON, and I think you all are going to appreciate it, so we'll be back with Gunstar Heroes. For now, if you want to learn this game, feel free to join the classic Mega Man speedrunning community. We have our Discord link on the Mega Man RT leaderboards, alongside the other community links as well. Big shout out to them. And for now, I'll see you all soon.
Alright, GG's on that one, Tempest, and we'll be right back, everyone, with Gunstar.